Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, for this video, Frank Nicely, Representative Frank Nicely from the great state of Tennessee, came into my awareness, into my view this morning, and I saw one clip, and then I got another clip from him, and then another clip, and each one just gets more ridiculously appalling, false, outright lies. So I need to talk about him. Okay, I want to put a few disclaimers here. First of all, I'm going to talk about the states, and honestly, I don't mean to talk badly about any of the states. I think every state in America has beautiful people and beautiful places, and they all have their own specific things to be proud of. But Frank Nicely was handing out some bull that needs to be straightened out about northern cities versus southern cities, and I have the proof down below for that. Anyway, okay, next, this is a big one here. I don't know if I could say this name on YouTube. Things are going too good on my channel right now. I don't want to lose monetization on this one video. I don't want to take the chance. So Frank Nicely talks about a prominent historical figure from the 40s, from 1940s Germany. Initials are AH. Okay, we all know who he's talking about. For this video, I'm going to refer to him as AH because I just don't know where I don't know where the line is on this. Bringing up this name, it can be very volatile. And sometimes the algorithms just see the specific words, and assume the video's about something that it's not. It's happened before. So I'm going to use the initials AH. All right. First clip down below. 3 clips from Frank Nicely. This one's just unfreaking believable. Okay, they're working on a law down in Tennessee about prohibiting homeless people from camping on the entrance and exit ramps of highways. I don't know if this is a problem in Tennessee. Up here in Connecticut, we see some panhandling going on once in a while, like in front of the box stores, where they know people are going in and out with a lot of money shopping. They know there's a lot of consumers, and they're looking, and a lot of these people, I'm familiar with addiction. And I'm guessing a lot of these people probably have addiction problems too, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so they're working on this homeless. They want to keep the homeless out of sight because homeless people are unsightly. So you just got to tuck them out and pretend they don't exist. Okay, so Frank Nicely has some words of inspiration for the homeless people. Seriously, watch the clip. He wants to give the homeless people of Tennessee, some inspiration from a historical figure, AH. So he talks about 1910, how AH decided. I guess AH decided to live on the streets. I don't know. And AH worked on his oratory skills and his body language, and it brought him into the history books. And now it's interesting. So seriously, he's using AH as inspiration. And he goes on to say that AH so this proves that the homeless people can lead a very productive life. I think right there, he catches himself. So you're basically saying that AH led a productive life. Now, think about what AH is responsible for. The ovens, all that. Yeah, so all of a sudden he says, well, except AH led a very unproductive life. So he contradicts himself in his little history lesson. That's it. That's who we have in government right now. Grandpa Nicely. And wait, it gets better. All right, so the next clip. Let me see. The next clip. This one. Here's a choice one. He's talking about smoking in bars. They're talking about I have no idea that you can still smoke in Tennessee in a bar. We got rid of that. Seriously, I think it was 20 years ago. I was still using. And I remember when they stopped smoking in bars. Here's a fun fact. I didn't start smoking until I was 35 years old. Let me give you a quick, this is crazy. None of you probably even ever heard a story like this. Hadn't smoked in my life. I hated smoking. My father died of brain cancer. My grandmother died of cancer. My grandfather died of cancer. I didn't smoke, but I got involved in drugs. One day when we had run out of a specific powder, the withdrawals were so bad that I just wanted to smoke anything. I smoked a cigarette and it gave me a head rush. And I got in the habit of doing that. And before I know it, I was smoking 2 packs a day at 35 years old. And then I got clean and I still smoked for a few years. I didn't quit smoking until maybe 10, 12 years ago after I quit drugs. Crazy. All right, so I'm no big fan of smoking. And I'm not crazy, it stinks. The smoke, let's be honest, the smoke stinks. It does. It sticks on your clothes. I remember back in high school when I didn't smoke. And, one person would walk in the room and there's nothing worse than that nasty, stale smoke, that smell of stale smoke on somebody's clothes. All right. So Frank nicely thinks, he doesn't smoke, but he thinks it should be allowed in bars. And here's his reasoning. He says people from the Orient. Now I looked this up because I know the word Oriental should only be used to describe things like rugs, not people. It's not right to describe them as Oriental. But he didn't quite say that. He said people from the Orient, so we'll let that one slide. People from the Orient are used to smoking in their cafes and their bars. You know what? I don't know if this is true, and I'm not even going to waste my time looking it up, to tell you the truth. You guys want to look it up? That's fine. But because he's using this as some inane reason, and I thought about it. It's like, wait a minute, there's kind of a lot of Trump supporters in Tennessee, right? It's a pretty Republican state. So I'm picturing these bars. Then I remembered the whole pandemic we went through and what Trump supporters thought about China. So I thought about this. So if tourists were to come from, let's say, China, do you really think that they would think it would be good for their health, besides for the smoke, to hang out in bars, in honky-tonks in Tennessee? I don't see a whole, I'm trying to picture a whole family of Oriental grandmother, grandfather, father, mother, coming to visit somebody in the United States and saying they want to go to a honky-tonk. I just can't visualize that. And Frank nicely goes on. He goes on to say he doesn't smoke, but he grew up in smoke-filled bars, and he just doesn't think it's natural to go into a bar and not have it filled with smoke. And, and I started thinking about this, and this is another one of those Trumpisms about petromasculinity. I did that a few videos ago, and it got surprisingly few views, man. It's a good story. But this is kind of connected to that, where these macho Trump supporters, and again, I think this has got to do with insecurity. I think it's a lack of security about their manliness. And they somehow think that spewing smoke everywhere and basically doing unhealthy things and then claiming it doesn't hurt them because they're like Superman, that's macho. And so he says that smoking, a bar isn't natural. It doesn't feel natural without that smoke. Now I'm trying to figure out why a non-smoker would say that, because most non-smokers hate the smell of smoke. They hate the smoke being blown in their faces. They hate having to inhale it. And so I'm thinking the only does he really think this? Do people in his family who don't smoke really think, do they really want to be saturated in cigarette smoke? Or is it more just a macho, this macho thing? Why? I don't get it. It's got to have something to do with that. Going back to the good old days of Leave It to Beaver and gas guzzling cars and cancer and all that good stuff. Okay, let's move on. And the next one. Okay. He said his grandson asked him, "Poppy, did the South really lose the Civil War?" Hell yeah, they did. They bid it, man. No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. All right. He goes, so basically he answered, no, they didn't. It's still going on. And then he goes on to talk about northern cities versus southern cities. And I looked this up. First of all, the most dangerous cities and states in America in the South. I'll have all the links down below. 2022. Here's a good one. The government handouts. Handouts. The highest handouts are in the South, in red Republican states. The average, the rating was like 30 for Republican states versus a 20 for Democrat states. The safest states in America, three of the top five were in New England. I think Connecticut was fifth, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. Alaska was one of the weird ones that kind of fell in with the South in a lot of these, with a lot of violent crime, and a lot of federal handouts. Oh, if you want to talk about, so nicely talks about the companies. I think he talks about Smith and Wesson coming to the Tennessee. I don't know. This is where Connecticut's where gun manufacturing started, the Colt and all that. Gross state product. Massachusetts and New York, top two. The bottom, southern states. So nicely is full of it in all of his claims. All right, like I said, I see I'm running late. I'm gonna have all the links down below. Again, I love all the states. All the states got good people and they're beautiful, amazing places. But Senator Nicely or Representative Nicely is an ass. All right, you guys have a good Friday.